I have an amazing team. I just turned 40 this week. I know, I don't look it, but I do. And what they did, it was a very sweet thing. They brought out a cake right before I was about to teach class. They all sang happy birthday to me. It was adorable. Except for one thing. Nobody had the cake. Oh, no more cake. Thank you. So you have a room full of martial artists, and right when they go around and ask everybody, hey, who wants a slice of this? The answer was an astounding 0. You know why? No person's going to do a 3-minute plank and then say like, you know what? Sign me up for one of those pieces of cake. If you're going to give someone cake for their birthday, you have to help them. I'm always happy to have a slice or 2, maybe even 3. I am incapable of having an entire cake to myself. And what they didn't know was, for a small gathering this weekend for a few friends and family members, I also had cake. They gave me a 2-tier cake. The person who gave us the cake actually looked at us and said, who's getting married? And my wife goes, nobody, it's for his birthday. And he goes, oh, must be some birthday party. In other words, fat. He was calling me fat. How dare he? I guess what I'm saying to you is, please help me. If you guys want a slice of this cake, I'll send it to you. I love my team. They're amazing. And you know what also is amazing? This show. Don't go anywhere. You're watching The Grappling Hour. All right, everybody, welcome to another great installment of The Grappling Hour. My name is Rafa Esparza. Excellent, excellent, excellent show for you today. We're going to get to our guest in a second, but I got to remind you guys, if you aren't a member of our HY.PAGE/Grappling Hour team, we would love it if you go sign up for a subscription. All you have to do is go to that website and decide if you want early access, which means you get our interviews 30 days before anybody else, or if you'd like our premium tier, which not only includes early access, the 30-day little window before everybody else, but you can also get exclusive content that is not available anywhere else. I want you guys to be a part of our crew, and I want you to see cool things like a vlog I made of going over to see our good friend Nikki Rod's seminar. It would mean the world to me. So again, HY.PAGE/Grappling Hour. Go there right now. But what I'm telling you in this moment is that we got a great interview for you. The gentleman that we have on today's show, he just won at Bellator. He's got one of the most amazing mullets I've ever seen, and he's good people. So I'm very excited for you to see this interview. Aaron Jeffrey, amazing talent. You've seen him on the Contender Series. You may have seen him fight not only regionally, but on a number of different cards. He is just super good, and I really like the fact that we had somebody who started with jiu-jitsu and found his way into the fight game. And if you listen to his story, I think you'll be very impressed. So I don't want to waste any more time. Here is your preview of my interview with Aaron Jeffrey. So why don't we talk to the man with maybe, I'm not going to do hyperbole here, one of the best mullets in all of MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aaron Jeffrey. Aaron, how are you doing, sir?
Man, I appreciate the words. That's very kind of you.
Listen, dude, I just want to be very clear. I wish I could do the hairstyle that you do. I cannot pull that off, but you look like you could seamlessly be integrated into the 80s, playing baseball. You look like you're timeless. You could be a NASCAR driver. It's so ambiguous with your look as to what you may or may not be doing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It kind of happened organically too. Like we didn't plan any of this, and I just kind of did it as a joke for one fight, and it really caught on. And here we are, like 3 years later, with an extra 3 inches on the mullet, and it's still going strong.
So when you decided to do it, and I know you mentioned it was kind of a joke at first, when was the moment you knew you were going to keep it? Because you definitely look like, you know, you could be in a rock band as well. Like, again, if you were to put on some of those old school aviator kind of glasses, I'd be like, yo, this dude is badass.
Yeah, the first fight I had with it, I guess it was only 2020. So it's been like 2 years and a bit. I fought out in Miami. And again, it was like kind of just a joke. Like I had long hair and it was getting in my face and shit training. but I kind of wanted to keep it, and I thought Mullet was the best option. It's not going to be in my face, but I can still rock some flow. And it was like all the commentary was talking about, and all the comments on the posts and shit after were just talking about the Mullet. So I was like, I guess I'm keeping it now.
In doing research, I think I know which fight you're talking about, because I listened to that commentary and you were doing some really cool things in that cage. And I did hear them occasionally go off topic. And as a broadcaster and commentator myself, I was like, guys, he's more than just a mullet. Up here, people, he's a person as well.
Look at the face, please, right? I think even in my last Contender Series fight, Paul Felder was on the mic and said something about it. He said, like, yeah, he's got good hair, guys, but like let's talk about his skill set too.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, good on Felder, because Felder is one of the first people to tell you how many people he's trained with on the sticks. So normally those are diatribes that go off for about a good 2 minutes. So kudos on that one. I want to tell you this, though. I did mention this in the intro, and I do mean it. It is hard for us sometimes when we have jiu-jitsu friends who get knockouts, and I'm like, hey, guys, I can't bring you on the show. Like, you got a knockout. It's kind of, I'd love for a jiu-jitsu finish to be happening. Happy you won. In your case, the reverse. I feel like a lot of the success in your last fight was due to your ability to really contain that man, because there was some good cage positioning in that fight. And one of the things that I was really impressed with was, if you're doing this to also a high-level jiu-jitsu person, you were able to contain them, and it looked like you were depleting his energy. So, tell me a little bit about that fight, and from your recollection, if that was something that was successful in that moment, because I just wasn't in that clinch with you guys, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like going into this fight, if you watch any of my past interviews, like leading up to it, I was saying he fights very similar to me. We both kind of walk forward, we pressure, we put guys on the fence. He tends to work really hard for takedowns, and he's got a pretty good top game. He's a BJJ black belt. My style is a bit more like just kind of grind. Like I'll hit takedowns if it's there, but I kind of like beat guys up on the fence and wear them down and look for the TKO. So I knew that was what was going to happen. He was going to walk forward, he was going to clinch me, and he was going to work on the fence. I just thought nobody had really like dirty boxed him, like thrown elbows, thrown knees, and kind of like made him work there and made it dirty. And I thought that game plan was going to be successful, and it was.
Especially toward the end. I mean, you literally just gave away, spoiler, how that fight ended, because, man, it just looked so easy toward the end. And I know it doesn't just happen easily. So I knew that you were doing a good job of beating him and wearing him down. In between the rounds, though, was it you or somebody in your corner that said you could feel he was tired?
I don't know who said it, but yeah, I think like that choke in the first round, I think it took some gas out of him, because if you watch his past fights too, he doesn't slow down. He fights a strong 15 minutes, and that's kind of that's nerve wracking for me a bit, because like I said, I can wear him out, and he didn't look like a guy that was going to slow down too much. So I didn't know if I was going to have to go the full 15 minutes with this guy. But yeah, I think that tight choke in the first round took some gas out of his tank.
Yeah, and it's weird because, again, the delineation from when he got out of it in that first round was you could see him firing back. And I was like, oh, okay, no, he's got some movement here. And oddly, the minute I reached out to Jake to try and arrange this, I was already in the first few minutes watching it. And I was like, no, this is going to be a good fight. And I could tell he was tired. And by the time he got to the second round, even though it was similar control and a similar fight, you did see that energy start to wane. And when that happens, you do see a momentum shift. And then, just like I said, toward the very end of looking to see how easy it was like, oh man, yeah, this dude's front choke, it's for real, man. So who do you attribute to having that good of a front headlock or a guillotine grip?
Good question. No one in my gym really hits it that same way, like that kind of ninja choke or like the high elbow one or anything. My head coach, Chris Prickett, he was a national level wrestler for Team Canada. He was an Olympic alternate, and his front headlock game is really strong, and we work a lot of that shit in the gym, offensively and defensively. We're a huge front headlock gym, so it's been like years and years of working that stuff.
Well, whatever you can do, buy that man a beer, take him for a coffee. give him a cupcake. I don't know what you got, man, but give that man something, because I work very hard on my front headlock, and I notice there's always a discrepancy, especially for those of us who are just jiu-jitsu people and not wrestlers. It is hard to make that happen, especially if you're going with somebody who's done wrestling. In your case, yeah, you were working with somebody with jiu-jitsu, but in this case, yeah, he was a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner that you were able to deplete all of that energy and really showcase your excellent striking, because you do have a number of knockouts as well. So I think that combination really made for a successful night. I would ask this. So when all of that is happening, how quickly is it before you go back and actually rewatch that fight?
I've only watched it once so far, actually, and it was just the morning after. Like, I don't sleep well after a fight. I'm up at like 6, 7 a.m. kind of tossing and turning. So I woke up and watched it then, just kind of for fun, not really like analyzing technique or anything, just kind of doing it for fun and patting myself on the back. You know what I mean? But no, I'll probably watch it again with my coaches next week and work on some shit so we can take away from it.
Let me ask this. Do you sleep well before the fight? Because you just mentioned that you have a hard time sleeping after a fight. Is it that you're such on an adrenaline high? Like, did you go out to party too hard? Like, what's happening where you just go, man, most people have the reverse problem.
Yeah. So the day before weigh-ins, I'll sleep like shit because you're all sucked in and like your body's achy from being dehydrated and your mouth's fucking dry and you can't have a sip of water. So that night's kind of shitty. The night before the fight's usually good because I'm like exhausted from not sleeping the night before, and now I got a full belly of food and whatever. So the night before the fight's always pretty good, and maybe even a nap the next day. But then no, I think fight night is just the adrenaline. It's like a huge adrenaline dump. You're so like wired and fired up, and your phone's blowing up and whatever. So it's hard to sleep.
Okay. So that's the before. Why was it difficult to sleep after this particular fight?
Again, man, I think it's just the adrenaline. Like you're just in the arena of screaming people and excitement, and again, your phone's blowing up. I don't know. I had 6 or 8 beers and 10 slices of pizza, so my stomach probably didn't feel very good.
No, so that's the answer I wanted. See, you notice you always ask the follow-up question as an interviewer. Be like, I don't know what happened, Raph, and I'm like, what'd you eat? A lot of candy.
I tried to beat around the bush on that one.
I'm sorry, man. We're not going to allow that here. We're a hardcore investigative thing on this show. We make sure to ask, how many slices of pizza, sir? You are under oath. So when we do stuff like that, it is always for that. But hey, man, you earned that stuff. I always tell people like this. I always tell people, after you fought, win or lose, you've earned a little bit of time off. So if your thing has been pizza and that's what you've been kind of depriving yourself of, have some. If you like what it is that you've been depriving, your body's going to really enjoy it, and it's not going to taste better than it does in that moment. So enjoy that, especially for those of us who start to get a little bit of a palate where it's like, this pizza's okay. But I've seen fighters afterwards being like, yo, this Domino's pizza was the greatest thing I've ever had. And I go, bro, it's
I told everyone I was with, it was my brother, who I don't see too often. He lives like 17 hours from me. Him and his wife came down. My mom was there. My girlfriend was there. Coaches who were like 2 of my best friends in life were all there. And I was drinking a cold beer and eating 10 slices of pizza. And I said, I think this is the best moment of my life right now.
All right, kids, that's going to do it for us this week. My name again, Raph Esparza, your favorite host. I better be. I don't want to hear you guys like other hosts. I don't like it when you cheat on me. All right, what should we plug? This week, why don't we plug our Apple Podcasts? If you guys aren't following us on Apple Podcasts, do us a solid, give us a rating and a review. There's going to be all these episodes coming up very soon. We've gathered all of the audio, and we're going to be sneaking them in. So if you see us updating a lot of those things, it's going to be with our back catalog. And it would mean the world to us if you give us that rating and review, so that way we can get more people, more guests, more everything. That's what I got for you this week. We love and respect you guys. I don't want to take up too much more of your time because I know it's that 4th of July weekend and I know you got partying to do. So get on out there. Go party. Be responsible. And fireworks, they suck. They're not my thing. But if you love them, go entertain your simple mind with little lights in the sky. I guess it's cute. Anyway, it's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.